All right, free radicals, welcome back. I'm Dave, and I'm the Radical Independent. Just in case you're wondering why I have a music background here, I do have another channel, and I use the background primarily for that channel, and it's really tough to kind of change backgrounds. I don't have that capability unless I really move things around, and it's really a pain in the ass, so I have decided just to go with this. At least when I'm doing the non-Zoom videos. This article, Third Parties Challenge Hurdles to Ballot Access in Texas. This was July of 2019, by the way, when this came out. You don't see a lot of articles about third parties. You just don't. And when you do, it's cartoonish stuff like crazy fringe party believes that Americans should have a living wage. Complaining that it costs over $600,000 to collect signatures. That's $600,000 to collect signatures to get on a general election ballot in Texas. The Libertarian Party and others sued the state in federal court Thursday, alleging its election laws favor Republicans and Democrats in races for statewide office. Well, of course. For the last 50 years, the state of Texas has denied voters their right to cast their votes effectively by enforcing a statutory scheme that guarantees ballot access to the two oldest and largest political parties at taxpayer expense, while imposing ever greater burdens on their potential competitors. This de facto financial barrier to participation is all but insurmountable for non-wealthy candidates and parties. Okay, so while other channels are focusing on why Bernie Sanders dropped out, why Tulsi Gabbard assimilated into the Joe Biden Borg, why would she do that? And questioning if Howie Hawkins is a Russiagator, which, again, he's been on this program, and we thoroughly debunked that claim, and the fact that Howie is also a free speech advocate, believes in whistleblowers like Chelsea Manning and Julian Assange, very much pro in their camp, believes in the things that most Tulsi supporters, by the way, and Bernie supporters believe in. While all that's going on, we should be instead focusing on this kind of stuff here. This is the stuff, it's not pretty. It doesn't make for great video presentations because I'm not angry at somebody specifically, or I'm not calling someone out, other than the fact I could call out a lot of progressive, so-called progressive and independent media that continues to focus on, Bernie Sanders. How much can he get, as far as his agenda? How much of it can he get when it comes to influencing Joe Biden? Not much. I can tell you that. Probably none. Oh, well, we still need to vote for Biden because he's better than Trump, and there is a chance. There is a chance that, he might adopt a Bernie platform. No, you know what? I hate to say this. I think there's a better chance that Trump would do it. I really do. Because Trump, he'll do anything to get elected. And if you say, hey, Trump, how about giving out another $1,200 a month for the rest of this year? He'd do it to try to buy the next election. He wouldn't do it as a matter of principle. But for working class folks who are trying to make ends meet right now, they don't care. I wouldn't care. The plaintiffs in the 31-page complaint filed in Austin federal court include the Libertarian, Constitution, and Green parties and 6 third-party and independent candidates for statewide office. Can you believe it? I mean, somebody asked me to run as a Green where I live. I live in probably the reddest place in the country, or at least in Florida. I'm in Southwest Florida, and it's a battle to who can out-Trump each other as far as the candidates currently running. And I looked at the Democrats, and they're basically like Hillary, Biden bots. They bring nothing original or independent when it comes to the non-resistance crowd, which, again, resistance sounds like it's a word that means something, but in the case of resistance Democrats, it means that they hate Trump and they have no ideas. That's what it means. Resistance Democrat means I hate Trump and have no ideas. So when an independent comes along, like a Howie Hawkins, or, if you're a libertarian, Jacob Hornberger, you guys I know almost had Justin Amash, who, like a coward, pulled away and said, nope, I'm not going to do it. I mean, it's crazy. A lot of these people, I think, just don't want to take the beating that they're going to take. Look for Howie Hawkins to be Vladimir Putin's best friend in a few weeks. Once he secures the Green Party nomination, it's all-out war because the Democrats want every vote. They don't want you casting a vote for somebody who believes in stuff. Same with the Republicans, by the way. If you're Republican and you take a hard look at a libertarian, they're going to be thinking, hey, you can't do that. So it cost $600,000 to change how people are able to vote in the state of Texas. $600,000. And again, this isn't a real sexy issue, but this is our future. Hey, Nick Brana there from Movement for a People's Party. You got to be raising money. Same with Howie Hawkins and everybody else. You've got to raise money that goes to creating ballot access, which is sad because it's bad enough that a lot of people aren't going to hear the message that third-party candidates bring. They can't even vote for it, even if they hear it. And you're going to end up with either Trump or Biden. Again, most likely you are. I'm not lying. I'm not trying to blow smoke up anyone's you-know-what, but there's very little chance that this time around a third party could win national office. It's just going to be very difficult. It's always difficult. But we had 4 years to kind of cultivate a movement, and instead we waited for Bernie to fold. We waited for Tulsi Gabbard to fold. And then we said, well, maybe they'll do the right thing. Maybe they'll run in a third party. Nope. Well, they took a pledge and they're just honoring the pledge. Okay. Well, the pledge is stupid, okay? Don't run in a party that makes you take that pledge, because what they're saying is we don't want competition from somebody within our party who decides to leave because it's corrupt. We want to keep our corruption going. So in order to keep the corruption going, we can't allow them to get any name ID while they're running as a Democrat and then go over and run as a Green or a Libertarian. It just, this is how things operate. And it's sanctioned corruption, and it's expensive to break it. And constitutionally speaking, anybody should be able to get on a ballot. Anybody should be able to get on a ballot. If you've got, you should be able to collect signatures, a small number of signatures. That's the way the Green Party does it, by the way. If you want to become a Green Party candidate, you have to show intent, and, you have to be a reasonable human being and so forth. And there are probably, small bylaws in there, but it's not this kind of crap, which is... And by the way, Texas, obviously a very red state, trying to protect their redness. They're becoming more blue, but that's not helpful either, because the blue that they're becoming, like in Austin, isn't really blue. It's just a different shade of red. And I say until things get green, you're not really going to get any change in policy. You're going to get a little tinkering, which... once it's washed out, once it gets through Congress and so forth, it gets washed out, and none of those things that you wanted ever get in a bill. This second bailout or stimulus or whatever it's going to be. Again, heavy on corporations and very little for the working class who are I mean, we're in a depression now, folks. Hate to say it, but we're in a depression. It's not the kind of depression that people saw in the 1930s, but in a few weeks and months, if it's allowed to just continue the way it's continuing and people can't get back to work, it's going to be very impactful for many, many years. And the only way we can really get people back on their feet is to do a little bit of FDR. You got to do some FDR at this point, and the only person I think willing to do it is Howie Hawkins. So, ballot access, very important. You can't do much without it. And the other channels that are out there interviewing, people that are writing books about what happened in the primary or whatever it is that they're doing at this point, it's complete nonsense. You've got independent media. Start to be independent-minded rather than just, again, like I've said 100 times, stop documenting a horse race where you already know the outcome, because that's what you've been doing now for a couple of years. Oh, we're gonna follow Bernie's campaign. People are saying it's not going to go anywhere because the Democrats are going to make sure that happens, and they did. And the same with Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard had no chance. Soon as she walked off that stage and said, I'm not going to be a DNC co-chair anymore. I'm just going to walk off this stage. I'm going to endorse Bernie Sanders. I'm going to do something bold and crazy. At that moment, her political career within the Democratic Party was over. But yet, she wrongfully thought that she could run as a Democrat and change the party. Same with Bernie Sanders. No, you can't have a revolution in a counter-revolutionary party. So that's my video on this topic. It's going to be tough to get over these hurdles to just even have a chance to vote for somebody else. My choice is Howie Hawkins. I fully endorsed him the other day. I'll continue to talk him up. I'm hoping to talk to Angela Walker, his VP choice. She seems like a great person and a perfect choice to run with Howie. So we'll see if we can talk to her at some point. And thanks again for tuning in. I'm Dave, and I'll see you soon.